If I had to do this all over again, I would start with automation because those early years are really important. Things I should start very slowly and then things start speeding up as you get more successful. You waste so much time in the beginning. I was wasting so much time with the busy work. I would start with automating more things. And
Good.
the things I learned about automation by applying myself and for my team and for our customers, I actually shared all those knowledge that I learned in the book. So if you're an
Good.
entrepreneur today, that you don't have to make the mistakes I made, just get the book, automate your busy work.
Welcome to Super Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm your host, Shahid Durrani. Today we have with us Tank. Aytekin is the founder and CEO of JotForm, a leading online form and productivity software used by 18 million plus businesses, creators, and individuals. Aytekin is a productivity and automation expert who has recently authored the book, Automate Your Busy Work. It's an honor to have you on the show, my friend.
Great to be on your show, Shade.
Thank you. I am very much curious to find out the moment, if you can go back to that time and recall what you were doing and how this idea came to you. What did you feel and what steps did you take after you got the idea?
Yeah. So I started JotForm 17 years ago. It's going to be 18. And it's a long time ago. But before I started JotForm, I was actually working as a programmer, a developer for a media company in New York. And one of my duties was to create online forms. I was creating all these forms for our editors, like contact forms, surveys, questionnaires, payment forms. And I actually didn't like that much. I wanted to find a way to automate it. I wanted to find a way to just find a product that can do that for me. And I couldn't find one. And that's when I knew that when I quit the job and when I start my own business, that's what I'm going to work on. And that's what I did. In 2005, somewhere, I quit my job and I started working on JotForm. And I released the first version of JotForm in February 2006. So it was a need. I think it's very important that for entrepreneurs to find someone who has the need or just for themselves to have the need, because it just makes it so much easier when you have the need, when you know what's going to be needed to, what features you need, why people need your product. If you know that, then it's much easier to create the product. So the product I created is called JotForm, and it's a form builder. And it started as a form builder in the beginning. It was about helping people create the forms. And creating an online form is difficult for non-technical people, but it's not that big of a deal if you're technical, if you hire someone technical. But over the years, I discovered that it's not just about the forms. Forms are just the first step in a journey. And it starts with the form. And let's say you create a form, people fill that form out, you receive an email, you do something with that information. They're either requesting something, so you need to do that. They're purchasing something, they're sending you information. And forms are used a lot in like education, nonprofits, healthcare, like where people are like need to communicate with each other. Let's say if you are a school administrator, people like teachers, students, parents, vendors, everyone else, they need to request things from you. They need to apply for things. They need to contact you. All those things are like filling the form is just one step in the process. So over the years, we started seeing this as a journey to help people automate their workflows. And we started adding all kinds of features that are required after the form is filled, like the automation of the emails, the automation of the forms itself. Like how can you show some fields depending on the answers entered.
Dynamic.
Whatever is the need when you're starting, it's not just about that. It's also about after you start, how you figure out what kind of needs people have. And then once you figure those things out, you can keep adding all these features. Like we added like JotForm sign, so people can actually sign documents within forms. People needed to create documents from the data entered in the forms. So we created this PDF editor feature where you can actually like design a PDF with the form data you receive and approvals, automated emails. So we created all these workflow features, and that's the story of 17 years. Like I'm still working on the JotForm. I still enjoy it. And the reason I started JotForm is because I really enjoy working on a product, because I really enjoy seeing people use a product that I created. And today, like I'm not writing code anymore. Like I don't have time for that. But still, I feel like I'm still like creating this product. I'm still feeling like even though I'm not writing the actual code, I enjoy working on the product. I enjoy working with our developers, our product managers. I enjoy working on the quality of our product, improving the quality of our product, understanding the users. We do interviews with the users. I watch those interviews. And on those interviews, people say, okay, this is working well, but these parts are not working well. And we have these needs. And all these things are creating all these sparks to come up with new ideas, to improve the product, to make it even better for our users. And this is the story of JotForm, but I also want to talk about like the story of the book, how it came. So that was also an interesting story. A few years into JotForm, business was actually going well. I think this was like 3-4 years into JotForm. We have 5 to 10 people, employees, and things are going well, and the business is going well. But as the founder, I wasn't happy. Like I was struggling. And the main reason was I was actually doing everything. Like I was spending like almost all of my day in emails. And I was doing like accounting, legal, HR, ordering supplies for the office, doing HR, talking to employees, talking to customers. It's good. But the reason I started this company was because I enjoyed working on the product. And I had no time to work on the product. And I didn't have time to work on improving the product. And we needed to do that because right at this moment, something else happened actually. And Google actually announced Google Forms. So we now have this big competitor. It's a David and Goliath moment. Like we are now competing with Google on Forms. So I'm like, I can't improve my product. I can't make it better. And I'm all my days spent with all this busy work. I'm drowning in busy work. And here I need to also fight with Google. So this is like a really turning point for me, because I took a few days and then I thought about what I'm doing, like how I spend my time. And I decided that I'm not actually spending my time on things that matter. I wasn't spending my time on the important work. I was actually spending my time with busy work. And this is a common struggle for entrepreneurs, especially beginner entrepreneurs assume that when things are going to be better, like when they find all these clients and customers and things are going well, that they assume that it's going to be all right. But the problem is now you're also struggling with busy work and you don't have time to take your business to the next level. So I took a few days off and then I decided, okay, I have to change something. And I started my emails and then I applied that change to everything else. But that was basically automation. I decided, okay, I was a programmer before I founded the company. I've been doing programming as well. But I knew how to automate things. Like that's like my superpower. Why don't I use that to my business? And I found that for many things, I didn't have to even write code. It's just very easy to automate things because there are all these products that are coming out. And the products we use every day have so many automation features. So like I was spending 6 hours a day processing my emails. I was able to reduce that to 2 hours. And I didn't have to write a single line of code. All I had to do was I had to figure out how to really use Gmail, how to use Gmail's like filters and labels to create a system for myself that helps me really process my email by priority, see the top priority emails first, so that I don't spend too much time just trying to deal with all these incoming emails.
That's how
Feels like. But that really worked. I was able to reduce the time I spent to 2 hours.
That's how you implemented all those features in JotForm to help with the workflow for people, for the productivity.
Exactly.
With that experience, you incorporate everything, and then you were able to compete with Google.
Once I started really automating things for myself, I started thinking, why don't I apply the same knowledge to our employees?
Good.
Help them automate more things. Why don't I help our customers automate things? And that was really also helped us became a better automation product at that point. You're correct on that. Yeah.
Yes. Can you walk us through any challenges that you faced when you launched this startup in the beginning, and then how did you deal with it?
Yeah, I think that was the biggest problem with spending so
That
much
was the
time
one.
on busy work.
That's a good.
And
We just
there are
about.
books about that. There's the E-Myth book that talks about how like you should work on your product as opposed to in your product.
No,
And I was
that's
actually
good.
doing that. So it's a
That's
very
good.
common mistake. And
how
different people actually have different solutions for this problem. And my solution was automation. Some other people actually use delegation, but it's mainly
part
about
of
prioritization.
what you do.
It's about using your knowledge on things that matter, like spending your time on important things. So one of the approaches I found was that I have this really productive time, which is for me mornings. It's actually very different for different people. Some people, they can work at nights. Some people wake up late, but I really enjoy the time in the morning. So every morning I wake up and send my kids to school and go to gym, do all those things. And then when I sit down in front of my computer, that I'm really, I have a clear mind. I am rested and
That's good.
I'm ready for the challenge. And if I open emails, if I open social media, or if I start looking at my chat, that I will lose that time. Like just that I will waste that time. I have those 2 hours, like from 10 to
it
noon.
happens though with entrepreneurs when they start opening social media, they get trapped in that.
Most important time, like the most productive time of my day. And if I waste it, I don't get it back. I don't have the same productivity in the afternoon or nighttime. So what I do is I will just ask myself, I will just open this text editor, full screen. I use IA Writer for Mac. And it's like black background, text editor, full screen. And I only have this like white blinking cursor. And I started typing, what's the most important thing I can work on? And I call this a hunter strategy because in the old ages, like when people woke up, hunter-gatherer society, when they woke up, they had only one thing in their mind. And that was probably staying alive, finding food, like hunt some food, right? They didn't have anything else. Just they focused on the most important thing for them. And I'm thinking like that every morning, what's the most important thing I can work on for my business? What can I improve? And if I spend those 2 hours working on a strategy, working on researching something, I sometimes just read a book. Just maybe I'm very busy, a lot of things are waiting for me, but I will read a book because I need that knowledge to make a decision, to come up with a new idea. So I need that clear mind to do that. And
I wanted to ask you, if you had to do this all over again, what would you do different?
If I had to do this all over again, I guess from the beginning, I would start with automation because those early years are really important. And the time and things actually start very slowly, and then things start speeding up as you get more successful. But so you waste so much time in the beginning. You waste
Good point.
You waste years like in the beginning, just like doing things are very slow because you have very small resources. I have 1 or 2 employees, and I was wasting so much time. All these with the busy work, I would start with automating more things, and
Good.
the things I learned about automation by applying myself and for my team and for our customers, I actually shared all those knowledge that I learned in the book. So if you're an
Good.
entrepreneur today, that you don't have to make the mistakes I made. Just get the book, automate your busy work. I released that book this year, a few months ago. It became a Wall Street Journal bestseller,
Oh, nice.
and it's available
Wonderful.
on bookstores, and
Congratulations.
even on audio version is available on Audible. And there's also a
Mhm.
free chapter on my website, aytekintank.com. You can go there and read the first free chapter there, and so
Good.
that you don't make the same mistakes I made. So you start
That's
with
wonderful.
automation principles and
So I think
automation.
you have seen like 50% annual growth rate. Can you share some advice to anyone on what you did and how they could do something similar to achieve those numbers?
I call it the 50-50 rule. And I didn't have that. I didn't call that in the beginning, but I was doing that even the first year that I started JotForm, which is basically you should be spending half of your time with your product, improving your product. And it could be the service. Like you could have a service. It doesn't have to be like a SaaS product like JotForm. It could be a service you provide to your clients. It could be a podcast that you are doing. Whatever you are doing, improving the quality of the product, improving your product, you should be spending half of your time. But if you're spending all your time with that, then what happens is that you have a product, but no one is using it. If you have a podcast, no one is listening to it. If you have a service, no one is purchasing it. So what you want to do is you want to spend the rest of your time, the second half of your time, with growth. So it's about product and growth. And how do you spend your time with growth? You bring traffic to your website, you bring traffic to your pod, you bring people to your product, so that because
How
it's
did you do
also,
that?
if you have a product, you need feedback. You need to hear from people, what do you do right, what do you do wrong. So when I first launched JotForm, I actually provided support on a public support forum, and people would write like, this is broken, we need this feature, and I would do it all publicly. Like people would see like what's going on, and that actually created more trust as a site. But I wanted people to discuss the product. I wanted people to discuss my product publicly. We still have that, by the way. But and I gained so much from that, and people were seeing that someone was requesting some feature, and I was responding the same day saying, I built it, ready, you can use it now. And
Great.
so it's about getting those feedbacks. It's about moving fast so that
Okay.
you get more people to use your product. If you don't have enough traffic, you start spending more time on traffic, because you need those traffic to get feedback from people, to understand how they use your product, what they enjoy about it, what helps them and what doesn't help them, what kind of problems you have. And so if you can actually balance that, then that's the easy way
Good.
to reach success. Because
Great.
I see many people, they just spend years and years building a product behind the curtain.
Yes.
And I also see
Yeah.
people who are just selling, but they are bringing traffic, they are doing
Or
SEO to their website, they're bringing the traffic, but people just, they try the product, it doesn't work, they go
or
away. So they cannot, it's not sticky because the product is not working well. So if you are not doing well on one area, that you will not be able to have more customers if you cannot keep the customers. So you have to work on product and the
good.
traffic at the same time.
Yeah, that was great advice. When some people they just keep adding features and they don't launch, for example, they have a product, they keep hearing ideas and keep adding and never get to the point of actually launching it. That's another vicious cycle that people get stuck in as well. So I appreciate all your information that you shared. Can you share with us what you feel your innermost superpower is that got you to this point in life?
my innermost superpower. I think for me, it's the joy I get from seeing people use the product.
Passion.
And it's not about money for me. It's about
Yes.
actually
Nice.
getting. And when I started JotForm, the first year, it was all free. And I wanted more people to use it. But I also was enjoying seeing people use the product. And today it's the same. Like we have
Very
free
good.
version has all the features, and you only upgrade if you really have a lot of needs. For simple users, just
Nice.
JotForm is absolutely completely free.
That's great.
And just that, like seeing millions of people use the product just makes me so happy. And that's just a drive to help me like keep improving the product. So yeah, it's the product.
Thank you so much. It was amazing talking to you and learning from you. I can hear the passion, and I'm excited to see what else you're going to be coming out with or how you're going to improve this product. I'm definitely going to be taking a look at it as well. Automation is everything. Automation makes you do a better job with your customer because your time is more available. And what you're doing for entrepreneurs and individuals is very important, because that stress of overworking can seep through what they're providing as a service or product. I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you, Shahid, for having me on your show.
My pleasure.